I've got another Dr. Seuss library book for you guys. And it doesn't necessarily completely cover Valentine's Day. It does mention love in it, so it's a good little story. But it is pink too, all right? One of the colors of Valentine's Day. But this book is called The Best Nest, all right? But by the end of the story, I'm going to ask y'all some questions about what we truly love and what truly is the best. So it's a neat little story for us to really look and make that decision, what is most important in our lives and what do we love the most, okay? So y'all ready for story time? Yeah! Great answer. So again, this is called The Best Nest by P.D. Eastman from our Dr. Seuss library, all right? So here we go. All right. Mr. Bird, and by the way, we're going to have some sound effects with the story, so just be prepared to hear some sound effects. Mr. Bird was happy. He was so happy he had to sing. This was Mr. Bird's song. I love my house. I love my nest. In all the world, my nest is the best. That's what he's singing, all right? So the birds are chirping, everybody's happy, filled with love, all right? And there's their nest, by the way, all right? There's their nest right there. So, all right. So everything's good, right? Everybody's singing, love their nest, love their house. Well, unfortunately, then Mrs. Bird came out of the house. It's not the best nest, she said. All right. So he was singing and happy, but she says it's not the best. All right? So let's see what happens next. I'm tired of this old place, said Mrs. Bird. I hate it. Let's look for a new place right now. All right? So we have two contrasting feelings here. One loves it, the other one doesn't love it. Okay? So what do you think the birds are going to do? Find a new house? All right. Maybe they can find a better nest, right? Well, let's find out. So, y'all were right. They left the old place and to look for a new one. This place looks nice, says Mr. Bird. Let's move in here. So what are they moving into? A hole in a tree. All right. Do y'all think this will be the best new house? All right. Well, let's find out. Oh, but somebody else has already moved in. So they looked for another house. This one looks nice, said Mr. Bird, and there's nobody in it. So what's the new house choice? A boot, a shoe, as you can see right up here. So we have nest number 2, all right? But like she said, or like he said, look, there's nobody living in it. So that should be the best new nest, right? Yeah. All right. All right, well, let's find out. Oh, you're wrong, said Mrs. Bird. This house belongs to a foot! All right. I know. Silly Mr. Bird. This house belongs to a foot. Would you want a bird living in your shoe? No. All right. Well, let's see if they can find another one. So, they went on looking. I like this one, said Mr. Bird. This one right here. It has a pretty red flag on the roof. Then Mrs. Bird says, I've always wanted a house with a flag. Maybe this place will be all right. What is the new house? What is that? A mailbox. Do y'all think that'll make a good new house? No? Why not? What goes in a mailbox? Do y'all see a mailman coming? I'm with y'all. I don't know if it's going to be all right. But it was not all right. I guess I made a mistake, said Mr. Bird. You know what? Sometimes we make mistakes, don't we? Yeah, we do. We do. All right, well, that one didn't work, so maybe time to find a new one, right? Okay, all right. Well, first, Mrs. Bird says, you make too many mistakes. All right? So she wanted to make sure she said that first. But I'm going to pick the next house, is what Mrs. Bird said. I'm going to pick the next house, and here it is, right here. What is that?
An air vent.
It is an air vent. That's very correct. But where is that air vent? What is that building? A church. Good job. All right. So we got this little steeple, a little church. Mrs. Bird said, I'm picking, and I picked this place right here. Do you think this is going to make a good nest?
No.
All right. Let's find out. They flew in. They looked around. Isn't it too big? Asked Mr. Bird. I like this big place, said Mrs. Bird. This is the place to build our new nest. All right? So this is the place they're going to build their new nest. Do y'all think it's a good place? No? All right. Well, let's see what happens, okay? What do you got to do to build a nest? Got to go get supplies, right? They get stuff? All right. So they went right to, birds can't use hammers. They use their beaks. They went right to work. They needed many things to build their nest. First, they got some, good job, some hay. All right. So first, they got some hay. Are they going to need some more stuff? Okay. Let's go get some more stuff. Here we go. They got some soda straws. All right. And broom straws. Yeah, like switches. All right. And they got some sweater strings. They're taking that guy's sweater. He was wearing a full sweater. Now he's wearing a quarter sleeve sweater. Weather's too cold for a quarter sleeve. Yeah, I know what y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. But does that guy look like he wanted his sweater string taken away? No, look at his face. He's like, what is going on? All right, but they got hay. They got straws. They got broom straws. They got sweater string. They need some more? All right, let's get some more. They got some stocking string. Yep. And mattress stuffing. Okay, so stockings are like socks. So they took some string off a sock. And then they started getting some stuffing out of a mattress, like cotton and stuff like that. All right? So you think they got plenty of stuff now? No? They still need more? All right, let's get some more. What? They got some horse hair. And they got some man hair. They took hair from a horse and hair from a man. But I mean, that's going to make a good nest, right? Yeah. That would hurt, a bird grabbing your hair and pulling it out, wouldn't it? Be like, ow, what was that? Ow! But this guy looks cool, calm, and collective right here. That's a cool cat right there. All right. You think they got everything? All right, they got it all. So, soon they had all the hay, all the straw, all the string, all the stuffing, all the horse hair, all the man hair that they could carry. They took it all back to build their nest. All right, bless you. All right. So we've talked about two nests so far. We talked about the old nest. We talked about the boot nest. But then you see over here, it's their new nest. Their self-made man hair stuffing straw nest, right? Okay. Y'all see all the pieces? Yeah. There's the straw. There's the string. Here's the stuffing. Here's the hair. All right. Does that look like the best nest? No. All right, well, let's find out. Mr. and Mrs. Bird worked very hard. It took them the rest of the morning to finish their nest. This this nest is really the best, said Mrs. Bird. I want to stay here forever. All right. What do y'all think? Do y'all think they're going to stay there forever? Do you think that one's going to be the best nest? I don't know. Let's find out. Well, Mr. Bird was very happy too. He flew to the top of his new house and he sang his song again. I love my house. I love our nest. In all the world, our nest is the best. That's how birds sing. But guess what? Look. He was so busy singing, he didn't even see Mr. Parker coming. What do you think Mr. Parker's about to do? Why is he coming? Ring the what? The bell. Did y'all see where they put their nest on top of?
Yeah, the bell.
You think so? Yeah. All right. Well, let's find out. Clock. Mr. Parker came to the church. Mr. Parker came to pull the rope, and the rope went up to the bird's new nest. Y'all want to see what's happening to the nest right now? Look at it. Does that look like the best nest now? No. The rope rang the big bell right under Mrs. Bird's nest. That's what she's doing, right? Do you think that makes the best nest? No. All right. Well, Mrs. Bird got out of there as fast as she could fly. But where's Mr. Bird? Yeah, he was. He was up there singing. So she went that way, and he went that way. But did they see each other? No. Oh, well, let's find out what happens. When Mr. Bird came in, all he could see was a mess of hay and string and stuffing and horsehair and manhair and straws. But where was Mrs. Bird? She did, but did he see her? No. He didn't see her fly away. So what's he going to do?
Find her.
You think she's missing? Or hurt? Or lost? I don't know. Okay.
I think Mr. Bird lose her.
Okay, but Mr. Bird said, I will look for her until I find her. So he looked high. And he looked low. And he looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird. Can y'all help him? Do you see her anywhere? No, she's not there. Well, that's Mr. Bird, but Mrs. Bird, she's not there. But we're going to keep looking, right? Okay, let's keep looking. Never give up. So he looked down a chimney, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. No, she wasn't down a chimney. Okay, let's keep looking. All right. He looked down into a water barrel. But Mrs. Bird, because birds like water. They have bird baths. But was Mr. Bird in there? No. Mrs. Bird was not in the water barrel. All right, let's keep looking. Uh-oh. Then he saw a big, fat cat. And there was a big, fat smile on the fat cat's face. And there was some pretty brown feathers near the fat cat's mouth. Mr. Bird began to cry. Oh dear! This big fat cat has eaten Mrs. Bird! It's okay to laugh. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I just think it's funny saying big fat cat over and over again. Do you think the cat ate Mrs. Bird? That would be a terrible story, Mr. Ryan. Mr. Bird flew off, still crying. I'll never see her, Mrs. Bird, ever again. It was getting dark, and it began to rain. It rained harder and harder. Mr. Bird could not see where he was going. All right? So you see him, he's still looking for her, even though he thinks she's gone, and he's about to fly in a rainstorm. Should he keep flying into it? No. But he's got to keep looking, right? Okay. Crash! Whoa! Mr. Bird bumped into something. What do you think he bumped into? A tree? A house? All right, let's find out. It was his old house. Mr. Bird had bumped into the old house that Mrs. Bird didn't like. I'll go inside, said Mr. Bird. I'll rest here until the rain stops. All right. So he's going to fly into the old house until the rain stops. All right. What do you think he's going to do after that? Find Mrs. Bird? Okay. Well, let's see what... Y'all want to see?
Yeah. Mrs. Bird's in there.
You think Mrs. Bird's in there?
Yeah.
Yeah? But she didn't like that old house. You want to see who's in there? Mr. Bird went in there. I know. And there was Mrs. Bird sitting there, and guess what? She was singing. I love this house. I love my nest and all the world. This nest is the best. I was trying. All right. Was she singing earlier? No. But she's singing now, right? And she is saying that this nest is the best. But it's not over. You here, gasped Mr. Bird. I thought you didn't like this old nest. But she loves it now, doesn't she? Yeah. But look, here's why. Mr. Bird smiled. I used to not like it, but a mother bird can change her mind. You see, there's no nest like an old nest for a brand new bird. That's right, they got a baby bird. I know. All right. All right, so, boop. And when the egg popped open, the new bird thought so too, that this nest was the best nest. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right, but here's the most important part, okay? Because we're going to talk about, this is Valentine's Day and about love and stuff, so we're going to talk about what you guys should make sure that you love the best, okay? But I'm going to ask you a question first. So here we go. We got our 3 nests over here, okay? And our story was called The Best Nest. which means which nest did they love the most, okay? Hold on. So we got our 3 nests here. We got the old house, all right? Then we got the boot, and then we got their self-made nest, okay? So we got their old nest, the boot nest, or the self-made nest. So hold on. I'm going to point to it, and you tell me whether this was the best or not. So just say yes or no, all right? Was it this nest? No! All right. Was it this nest? No! So was it this nest? That's correct. This was the best nest, and this was the one that they loved the most. All right? So we got 3 nests here, so I'm going to scoot these back a little bit because I also brought with me 3 books. Okay? I brought with me the book that we read, all right? The best nest. I also brought the Bible, okay? All right? Got the Bible right there. And then just for fun laughs, I brought the 5 love languages book, okay? All right? It's Valentine's Day, talking about love, all right? So I've got 3 books right here. So we're going to do the same thing. I want you to tell me which of these 3 books is the best, okay? All right? Hold on. All right? So again, I'm going to point to it. You say yes or no, but there's only one that is the best, okay? All right? Is it the book we read today? No. It was a good book. It was a good book, but it wasn't the best. Is it the 5 love languages book? No. Is it the Bible? Yes. So listen, this is the best book that you could ever read and ever have. If you want to talk about something that you love, you should love your Bible. You know what's neat? In the Bible, it actually talks about birds and how much God always cares for the birds, that if you think about it, if God cares for the birds and the things He created, He cares so much more about you. So let me read it. Matthew 6:26. Look at the birds. This is Jesus talking. It says, look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. Who feeds the birds? Good job. God does, your heavenly Father. So if God loves the birds enough to feed them, guess how much more God loves you? Yes, so much more. So during this Valentine's season, remember how much God loves you, because He loves you more than anything else in this world. But to go along with our story, what we learned in our story is these 2 birds, they found out that God always had what they always needed. He always had a path for them. He always had a plan for them, and it always was back to the one thing they loved. Okay? And His Word says this in Psalm chapter 32, 7 through 11. For you are my hiding place. Okay? God is our hiding place. You protect me from trouble. God will protect you from trouble. You surround me with songs of victory. What were the birds doing in the book? They were singing, right? When God protects you and gives you a place of rest and protection surrounds you, we should sing, we should worship, we should celebrate God. And then verse 8, the Lord said, I will guide you along the best pathway of your life. God knows what's best for you, and He will guide you. I will advise you and watch over you. Because again, God knows the best for your life. Do not be like a senseless horse or a mule that needs a bit or bridle to keep it under control. Or don't be like birds looking for a nest. Okay? Because God is in control. And again, He knows what's best for you. He has what's best for your life. He will advise you, watch over you. Then it goes on to say, unfailing love surrounds those who trust the Lord. So rejoice in the Lord and be glad, all you who obey Him. Shout for joy, all you whose hearts are pure. So boys and girls, during this Valentine's season where you'll see a lot of hearts, where you'll be really glad and you'll be excited about what you get, most importantly, may you be excited. May you be glad. May you shout for joy because God loves you, because God cares for you, because God protects you. And most importantly, God knows what's best for your life. So may you know today in this Valentine's season that even if God does take care of the birds, you know what? He'll take so much more care of you because He loves you so much more than anything else in this world. And you know what we should do? we should love His Word. And we should be in His Word and read it every chance we get. Love His Word, love God, trust in Him, and guess what? God's love will surround you, protect you, and guide you. All right? Good job. Let's give the Lord a round of applause. And happy Valentine's Day, okay?